It's a nice cold winter's morning. As I said, it'll be over very soon. But today we'll be doing a coilover install on the Subaru Forester. It's actually quite a simple install. It's just a bit time consuming if you're going to do your adjustments, but physically not that hard. So this will cover doing basic suspension. Coilovers just only have extra adjustment. You can choose to do it yourself, or you can just take it to a wheel alignment place. But yeah, let's do it. Okay, so what you're going to need is sockets. So in my case, it'll be the 10, 12 and 14 in there. I've also got my rattle gun to take my wheels off, and to make the two studs for the shock come out a little bit easier. C-spanners will be necessary if you plan to adjust your coilovers. If you're just doing normal shocks, obviously just have your normal shocks. As far as it goes, and obviously jack up your car, jack stand under it, and obviously your shocks, aka your coilovers. The story with these was that I was running these in another car that I had, the exact same car, except it wasn't an STi. Saved them before I sold it off, and then now I've decided to put it in this thing, so let's do it. Okay, so the next thing to do would be to take off your brake line from the shock, and also your ABS line, because I've got them, and then undo these nuts, this bolt and nut, both of them, and then slide them out, do the top hat, and we'll go from there. Yeah, don't mind my slippers and my tattered pants, but just to point out, so when you do take out the bolts from the shock, some of these cars can come with different bolts, just to show you. So this one came out of the bottom, like so, and this one came out of the top, like so. The reason why this one's odd and looks very peculiar is because when it comes to using normal shocks, this will have camber adjustment. Not much, but there's still a little bit of camber adjustment. Because I have adjustable coilovers, I will have this plus whatever adjustment I have on the top hat, and we'll go from there. Just something to point out, because you decide to take it to a wheel alignment place and they're like, oh, we can't get in the adjustment. This may be a reason why you can't, because you put it in the wrong spot. Just a little note. So as I've pulled out the old one, what I like to do is have a reference to make sure you're actually putting in the right part. So I'm just gonna go off. Yes, that's for the brake line. That's that too. And then what I also like to do is that if you are meant to transfer things over, just have them on the old part first before you actually do. And then there's your one for the ABS. It's on the other side here too. Throw that on there. And yeah, just have them side by side. Makes it a whole lot easier to have your reference. And also, if you're just doing like a singular replacement, singular shock, this is a good way to tell where your base is before you actually physically try and put it in the car, to only find out that it's actually the wrong one. Many a time I've actually done that, many a time other people have actually done that, and yeah, the 5 minutes does pay a lot in the long run. Okay, as I put the new unit in, I've just put the nuts at the top on. I was struggling to get the hub up to the strut. Little pro tip: use your jack to get it to your required height, and then put your bolts in after, because you'll find that if you've got a sway bar attached to your hub, it'll be a lot harder to bring the hub physically up to the shock to put your bolts in again. So a little tip, just another tip that I was taught. If you ever take bolts out and you can slide them towards the back of the car, try and do that, so it avoids debris getting caught when you're driving forwards, and it will stop locking up the CV or the wheel once it's on. Just a little. It may not do much, but to me it's a good peace of mind to have. But yeah, the strut's on. As for adjustments, I want to just try and set it straight, probably with no camber, to see how my wheels sit first. And if I had more time in the day, I would honestly try and play around with the camber and give it to the guys to play around the toe. But I don't have that time today, so I'm just going to do the installs and go from there and just have it roughly set straight. Okay, so I've put it back together. It sits a little bit lower, as I like it. Just as a comparison, it's a little bit hard to tell, but it does sit a little bit higher, about 5 centimeters or so. Yeah, I want to do it individually because I can't physically jack up the car in pairs, and go from there. So on to number 2. So we've got the second one out, but by no easy task. So remember how I said the sway bar can play a massive role on taking out the shock? Because now that other side is lower, it's now tightened up that side, which made my job on taking this one out a whole lot harder. So what I had to do was essentially, as the shock was in, I had to leave a body weight on this to pull this down and jingle jangle the shock out of the actual strut tower. And yeah, hopefully the install's just not as bad, if at all, and go from there. But yes, the second one is out on the floor over there. So much fun. Woohoo! Okay, number 2 done. Heck you for the sway bar. Onto the back. Let's go. Okay, so I've ripped off the rear wheel. It's pretty much the same process as the front, except one for the brake line, it's got one brake clip, which you're going to use pliers or, trying to get it off. It's actually quite simple to pull it off, and instead of it being exposed in the engine bay, the top strut nuts are actually under a cover. This little bit of foam here exposed, just as a comparison. Still quite simple to get to, just a bit fiddly, but yeah, let's do it. Okay, third one is done. It's nice and in. It's probably been the worst one so far because I'm not sure why, but where the 2 bolts are meant to go at the bottom to the hub, man, that camber bolt was an absolute nightmare. But irrespective, it's onto the fourth and final. Let's do it. I'm going to show it on this one because I've already put the other side together and I can't be bothered. So for whatever reason, when I changed the other strut over and I tried to line up this top camber bolt, this top camber bolt was the absolute worst. Like, it just did not want to move at all, even with tension on it, tension off it. Maybe it's just me. Couldn't do it, but couldn't do it initially. A bit of cussing and a bit of jiggling, I got it in. So let's hope this one isn't as bad because the last one is over there. Let's do it. I've done this side already, and I've just slotted in the other one, but I had to change my method of how I put it in because on the fronts I did the top first, tightened up the top, and then did the bottom and then checked the top again. This isn't the case in the back because the arms have got a drop more. I had to put my bolts in here first to line up my shock, then have the jack to jack it up, and then line my studs at the top, then put on my nuts and do it that way. Each car will have this own way of putting the shocks in to make it easy for you, but this is my case for the back, and for the fronts I had to do the top first. So I'm going to throw it all together and hopefully she looks sexy. Alright, so the coilovers are in, sitting nice and low for me. If anything, it might be a tad too low in the back, but we'll sort that out afterwards. But the main bit is done, the install's done. Yeah, so now it's looking a lot better. And that's another video done for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.